Oh, sorry. I am not nearly as organized as you today. I actually did this because, so I'm doing this. Yeah, I have the headphones selected. Cool. So I'm doing this. Look at that. Look at the chest. It's starting to grow. That's exciting, dude. I've been like mentally shitting on my chest for the last like probably 2 years. It's really weird because some of the psychosis is starting to go away. Psychosis is just a general neurosis. Neurosis. Sorry, shit. Wrong word. Some of the neuroses are starting to go away um, as I fix them, which is very encouraging. But I still will feel drops. But I pay attention to what those drops are about because as I've been able to like, it's just like hearing like a bastardized version of your argument, right? If you listen to it and it's like, man, they really strawman my position. If it's so far from what you had said, then it's just okay. They made some shit up and they didn't respect the nuance of your position or whatever. Cool, got it. But if it's just right enough to where it leaves you speechless, like there's a guy I work with. He's a total asshole. He's from New Jersey, which any big city, but New Jersey people are fucking faggots. Like that's not even an insult. They're just assholes, man. Um, which that's probably going to be a hard part about New York, but I think I might get along all right. Um, oh, look at the sun. Oh yeah, the sun is good. Yeah, that's my super German voice. Yeah, die Sonne ist gut. Yeah. I hope you think that's funny. Um, the cat is der Katze. Yeah, der Katze. Yeah. I just got done practicing my German before this. It's kind of cold. I don't really want to. We'll do that. Is this too bright? I'm gonna take my shirt off. Yeah, I'm gonna take my shirt off. All right. So, but I'm gonna talk while I'm doing it. So, fucking. All right. 2 minutes in, and I have said nothing of substance. Oh yeah, no, my life is getting better, right? So like, I feel better. Like the haircut feels really nice. Um, as I get more fit, trying to get this lighting right. As I get more fit, it becomes a less of a concern, and so my energy. Not doing the whole thing with my shirt off. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, wait. Sorry. Oh, that reminds me. I can tell you a story about that. I should have been more organized, especially because your midterms are going on. So, all right, I'll try to be more organized from here on out. So there is a guy that I knew back in middle school, right? So I was still taking the bus to school. So this is seventh and eighth. No, he was still taking the bus. So he was like a sophomore, right? So I was in seventh grade. I was in seventh grade. Dusty Blankenship. I can remember his name. Um, he was very charismatic and he was dark and it was hard for me to find people with the same interests as me. So if I found one, I was like, yes, okay, I found one. But he was also full of shit, unfortunately, which really sucks. But anyway, an example is like he said that he had all of the original Slipknot masks from all of the albums, but his mom threw them out. I was fucking so. Alright, so high in trade openness, right? I'm going to give up on trying to say that in a more unique way because it's just so direct and to the point. You know exactly what I'm referring to. And I think you've gotten over the personality thing at this point. Enough to where you'd be able to talk about it. And you also, I can talk about the validity of the model and how they actually came up with it if it really bothers you. Because I think, for one, it's real and it's true, you know. Um, so I shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. It's like, oh, I don't want to upset her. It's like, well, no, if she's getting upset over something silly, maybe she should get upset. Or maybe we should talk about it so she's not upset anymore. You know, it's it's worrying. It's choosing the right fight, and I think that would be a good discussion to have if you have a problem with the big five. Maybe I didn't explain it right before, or maybe the writing on the bloody fucking the thing with the stuff on the Understand Myself website was just a little too high for your English, maybe. But I mean, you can like look it up on Wikipedia, right? Like Big Five personality model. It was derived through a process called factor analysis, meaning that they put as many adjectives in as they could, and then they ran as many as they could think of to describe someone, right? You know, trustworthy or happy, sad, blah blah blah, and so they came up with the big five because those were the five that just kept coming up, right? So you had openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Ocean, baby. I remembered it. And so all those traits I've already talked about them a bunch, and you might I would be surprised if you didn't remember like how they work, right? Like that's a pretty simple thing. Openness, open to ideas. That's how we fucking work. That's the only reason we work. Right? Because not a whole lot of the other stuff matches up. But I love talking about ideas and you love talking about ideas, and we're able to just make a bunch of stuff work because like we're not super attached to an idea. Like I think it's sexy and it's very desirable for me that my partner believes in what they say and they act on what they think, because what the fuck else would you do? It's like, oh, well, I think this thing, but I don't think it enough to act on it. It's like, so whose thoughts are you going to act on? Not yourself. You're going to live your whole life acting on not your own thoughts, and you think that's going to satisfy you, the person who's living it and going to fucking die at the end of the day. That's going to satisfy you. If it does, then good. Then it's still your decision, right? But oh, sorry. The point with the Dusty Blankenship thing was he had abs when he was 15 or 16, and you know he said he was like an MMA fight, but whatever, dude. He was super full of shit, but like ridiculous. He lied a lot, like he was an assassin and all this bullshit. Like I don't know how you could lie through your teeth so hard. I do actually know. I was a manipulative little shit when I was in like 6th or 7th grade. I definitely had like affairs because I did the internet thing, right? So I can talk about that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my YouTube history. So YouTube/internet. Okay, so all right. So starting in 6th grade, I'm 12. I discovered the internet. So first I found Sonic forums, right? Like Sonic the Hedgehog. And then there's, like, that crowd is kind of strange. Because some of the characters are archetypal, right? They're very, like, impersonal. They're super predictable, right? And so it's easy to mock it because it's like, oh, he's just super edgy because, you know, you don't understand him, and here's this guy, he's cocky, but everything's super easy because he's so skilled, right? Or, you know, it's super predictable, basically, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's very predictable, but it was my first exposure to, like, what I felt at the time was a complicated story. Like, now, it's hard to compare, right? Like, I'm fucking 22 years old, and I'm not, you know, I started playing Sonic when I was 8, and so it's like, okay, 4 years, anyway. Shit, probably like 6. But, so YouTube, right? Eventually, so I'll lay these two together. So I started being an internet kid because these forums, right? They were Sonic forums, there was like role-playing, there was some discussion, but role-playing was what I did a bit. And that's how I got kind of like an introduction to how like internet speak goes, you know? And this is 2007 or 2006. I remember when Google Video was a thing, right? And, I'd watch videos because I'm a fucking kid with an internet connection and social anxiety. Like, what do you fucking think I'm going to do? And so I watched videos and stuff like that. But I also get interested in ideas and I run with it, right? Like, and so I'd watch like Let's Plays and I'd find, oh, there's all the shit you can do with video games. And then I also looked up a bunch of music stuff. That was when I really got into music, right? I also started to play guitar. 6th grade, yeah. I started playing guitar in 6th grade, and so I was doing my music lessons, and I actually got into music in like 5th grade with like Green Day and Weird Al and like some Metallica, and then I got really into Metallica, right? That was the first time I got the taste of like what it was to know something that not a lot of people knew, right? My first little taste of individuality. It's like I'm super into Metallica, and I know more Metallica than fucking anyone except for like stoner music buffs, right? Which was true and still is pretty much true, right? Like some people, I just got obsessed with it, and I was 12. I had nothing but time, and I had like uh, I had 2 friends, yeah, 2 or 3 friends, and so one of them, like it just happened, right? And then like 6th grade, all that. So I basically like developed my personality via text, right, on the internet, right? So I've been doing the long distance friendship. Okay, in person friends I only had 2 or 3. I had a plethora of online friends, and that made things incredibly bearable for me. I would stay up late because some of them were Australian, and like, and you look at them now, and yes, every one of us was fucked up, and like the things that we did, we were super dramatic. Like every week, someone wanted to kill themselves, and like it was absurd, right? But like you were able to speak freely, and you felt like you fit in, even if you were fucked up and weird. Like you still had this little group, right? This little group of people that genuinely cared about you, and I had never had that. I had felt so alone my entire goddamn life that I got that taste. And it was great, right? It was my first sense of like, there are other people like me, and they're just not here. Because I was in a small town, and so when did I drop off the internet thing? So 6th grade was really deep. And then 7th and 8th, my buddy, I also got into the internet stuff, right? I think I could, I'm going to ask him for sure, but I think I could say that I got him into the internet stuff because, we'd watch videos, and I've always been kind of, between me and him, I pretty much always have run the friendship, right? Like, I've always made decisions, and he just goes along, right? I actually had him take the personality test, and he's very high in openness and agreeableness. Openness, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Um, that's kind of like the common thing between my friend group. Except for one of them. One of them, I'm pretty sure it's openness, but most of them, it was openness and neuroticism, or just openness, period, that like really connected our friend group, because we were all pretty interested in ideas, but I was really interested in ideas. I always loved when I love deep conversations when I get to something that hasn't been unearthed before, like okay, obviously every range of human experience has been experienced before if you generalize it enough, right? But like when I was on vacation with my dad, I was able to ask him questions that I could tell were difficult, right? And that was very enjoyable for me because it's like, if I can ask deep questions about something, that means I understand it, right? Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's the first step, right? And so I still struggled, like, in actual social interactions. I was very isolated. I had such incredibly low self-esteem when I was in 6th grade. You would not believe it. You would not believe it. It was so terrible. I was genuinely convinced there was nobody uglier than I was. Not one person, right? Because when you're open, you understand all the ways that you can be inadequate. Because the world is your fucking oyster. My dad uses that phrase. And so that's really where I've been rebuilding since. So I started faking it, right? Because, well, you just don't get anywhere when you're depressed all the time. Okay. And I started to see these people that were genuinely happy. And that confused me because I knew I was fucking miserable. Right? It probably didn't help that my sleep schedule was super erratic and um, oh, okay, I'll keep going with the internet thing. Yeah. So, 6th grade and then 7th grade I get into Xbox, right? Xbox 360, Xbox Live. And then I make some gamer friends, right? Cool, fuck yeah. Same thing. Internet buddies just happened one night we were playing. We played a bunch of games together, and then we just happened to get on. And all three of us didn't have lives, right? So, like, we could get on all the time and play and shit, and that was fine. And then it was, again, it was like three really close people with another outside secondary group that was pretty close, right? Pretty close. I do need to have a conversation with Richard again. Larry. Okay. So then Xbox was for a while, and then my mom's alcoholism got too bad for me to want to live with her anymore. And so then I moved in with my dad, and that lasted for about 2.5 years. And that really pulled me away from the Xbox thing because, like, he didn't have internet, right? And so I couldn't connect my Xbox. And so eventually, like, I would play it live at some people's house, but it wasn't the same, right? Because, like, I had a job, and I grew the fuck up. And I realized the flaw of the people that I was hanging out with, right? I got along with them, but they didn't. We were all squandered potential. None of us were working at our maximum capacity, even if we were intelligent enough to. And I did not like that because I 100% valued effort. Absolutely. So then I just went through high school, and nothing really eventful until like my second semester of my junior year. So this whole time, like, I had been aware of internet culture. Like, I was there at the fucking beginning, man, is what I'm trying to say. Like, realistically, I was there at the beginning of YouTube. YouTube was founded in 2006 or 2007, and I was there, right? I remember. It was a very small culture, and it was very close. I remember that shit, and I'm proud of that. Yeah, I'm proud of that. At the fact, because I remember when, like, oh, you have online friends, and that was like, I remember you. It was not until like 8th grade that I could be like, yeah, I'm friends with someone from fucking Texas, and I've never met them, right? Like that, the fact that conversation couldn't happen until then. There's still bitterness, obviously, you can hear it, but like, I've been willing to do things for myself without the acceptance of the crowd for a very long time. It's fucked me up, right? Like, I didn't deal well with it socially, but I'd hide it or something, right? Like, I had to hide the fact I was having long distance calls with friends, like, I'm staying up until 2 in the morning, like, get the fuck to bed and whatever. And so the internet's always been really close to me, and so it's always felt like a home. Yeah, it's always felt like a home. So distance isn't that much of a struggle for me because it's like, if we really get crazy with this video stuff, like, I could edit the fuck out of this and finally be like a content creator, right? And because a lot of channels start like that, like, hey, I'm over here, you're over there, let's make videos to each other. And right, we wouldn't make them public or anything, but just like, it'd be a fun project because I'd get to learn how to edit video and get to play around with it and think of ideas, and it's so goddamn creative. And I've been involved in this thing for so long that I really look forward to it. So, I guess that's what I'm talking about today. It's been almost 20 minutes. I gave you a shirtless thing. I didn't give you any abs, and I feel like you like abs better, but I don't know. It's just kind of an assumption. Just boom. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Whatever. That's what you're getting. Double bicep. Oh. What do you want from these videos? That's my question to you. What would you like me to do in these videos? Because I loved that last video you did. It was positive. You, you didn't bastardize any of my arguments. That was great. No, the last message was fucking great. I really enjoyed that. I was smiling the entire time. It was awesome. So I look forward to hearing what you have to say and what you would like out of these videos. What would make them more enjoyable for you, right? Would you like me to do a cover of a song, right? I don't know. That'd be a project. I wouldn't be opposed to it. You know, like, what would you like to see? Love you.